Malik, Josh Hurd spoke to us the other day. He talked about a disconnection in the locker room between the team and Coach Mack. The last time you were sitting up here, you said you didn't have a comment for whether the team had tuned the coaches out. Were you at that time speaking to some of that disconnect? Did you feel that happening?
Not really sure. In the moment, after a game, a heated game where, we didn't come away with what we wanted to get done, and I just didn't really have a response for, that question. But I would say everything that, goes on, amongst us is, it's amongst us. But as far as the disconnect, I think, something was up. But, I think we got it all figured out now.
Were you surprised by the result of it? I mean, was there any thought in your mind that what happened this week could happen?
No. I never expected it to happen, especially with where we are in the season. But, we're here now, and there's nothing we can do about the past.
Malik, Coach Mack had spoke a little bit about Coach Pegues the other day and said he has a special ability to kind of connect with you guys. What do you think it is about Mike that resonates with you guys and, I don't know, either hypes you up a little bit or just connects with him?
I can't tell you exactly what it is, but, I would like to say that, Coach Pegues has a lot of personalities and, a lot of different, ways to get under different people's skin, in different situations. So I would just say that alone does a lot for him, just, whatever it is that he's speaking on, he has a tone in his voice to where he really can get you to listen, and a bunch of different things like that. And I think it does go back to early November, when he took that head role for our first 6 games. I think that, towards the end of his head coaching position, in that little 6-game run, I think we really started to buy into what he had to say and, really listening to him. And the transition back was, difficult for us, and I don't believe that we ever got over it. So just getting back to that, we all had confidence in ourselves, leaving the Bahamas as far as the Baja Bully go and, everything like that. So I think it's going to be easy for us to, buy back into his message.
Malik, as crazy as the last week or last couple of days have been, you could even argue it's not the craziest thing you've been through here. So how do you, as a captain on this team, kind of, for the younger guys who haven't been through anything like it, what's kind of your message to them for these last 10 games?
Just keep going. The number one thing is to keep pushing. You can't dwell on things too much, in the business and, the college professional that we're in. It's just about looking at that next step, figuring out what's best for the group and, trying to go out there and be our best, the best version of ourselves. I think in our mind, we all just want to be better, with everything being said, around the group. It doesn't really matter, but at the end of the day, like, we want that, we just want that to change, the stigma around this team and, how everybody feels about our group. So we're just ready to work.
Are you more prepared to go through this, having been through everything you've already been through here?
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, it was a rough day for me. Just the day that we were going in to find everything out, but I would say I'm more prepared.
Malik, you talked about Mike getting under your skin, or the ability to get under your skin. Can you give us an example of how he motivates players and why they respond?
I think I would say just his tone and his message and just the realness of it. When he speaks to us, he speaks from his heart. He speaks from experiences that he's been through, as a player, at a professional level, at a college level, being very successful, as a player. So I think that speaks volumes because he's been through it, and he can really be that example. Like, I play hard when I play. Like, I'm not going to coach a bunch of players who didn't play hard while they're playing. So that's just one example. But just his experiences and the way that you can tell that he's very passionate about what he speaks.
Yeah, you guys started out 5-1 when Mike was in charge, and then it did fall off. Was it just frustration built up that when you started losing in the beginning, or just didn't respond to the Coach Mack said he couldn't find ways to motivate you guys? What do you think changed as you guys moved into when he took over again?
I mean, if you look at the time of Coach McGee's coaching us, like we weren't the best team at all. We lost that game to Furman. And, we were in a couple other nail-biters. And I think we finally found our identity when we went to the Bahamas. That's a whole different country, a whole different vibe, early morning game. So, it was a different vibe out there for us. And, we became the Baja Bullies. And it was just, for those 2 games, I feel like we had identity. And, we really stood on that identity. And I would just say when that role kind of switched back, not to say like it's nobody's fault, but I think we were just caught up in listening to what he had going for us, and it could have even been the Bahamas just being caught there, but I wouldn't blame anybody or anything like that. We just never connected totally as a group.
Malik, you talked about how guys were starting to buy into Big East and what he was giving to you guys. Do you think, in your opinion, when you look back, if Mack had never been suspended for those first 6 games, do you think the team would be in the same position you guys are in now? Do you think Mack would still be the head coach right now?
I think that changed everything because we went through the summer listening to him, and then we had to go through the toughest time throughout the beginning of our year. The time that we had together when we finally started playing games, he had to be voiceless, and we couldn't even call to talk to him about anything. How was he doing? So I believe there was difficulty in that, and I think it did change our entire season. And I'm not sure how it would all played out, but I do think we would have been a much better consistently a much better team.
Rotations, lineups, they've changed all season. Do you think they'll be more solidified now that Coach McGee's is in? And who do you think will be the starting 5 tomorrow?
I'm not sure. Because that wasn't just, the head coach's decision. As a staff and in whole, they will make those decisions. And it's hard, to decide who's going to start, especially when, as a group, we haven't been consistently that same guy every day. And that's a part of, the rotations and things like that. So, I mean, we're on a fresh page, a new start. And Pagis told us that. And it's about what you earn in practice. So I'm not sure who's going to start tomorrow, but everybody has a clean slate and everybody has a fresh start and, the opportunity to play tomorrow. It's about what you're going to bring daily, what you're going to bring on game day.
You've been here numerous years, but do you think the new offense has had anything to do with the inconsistent play of like Jalen Weathers and guys that have been really struggling offensively, turning the ball over, having to dribble the ball on the perimeter? You think the new offense has had anything to do with the frustration?
I wouldn't blame it on the new offense, just because I think that it's really good, and I think it can work really well, and we've seen it work really well in moments in practice and moments in the game. It's about us as players being better and, consistently understanding our assignment, working on our game, getting better at what we need to do within this new offense to, be successful. But I think that the new offense was great, and I still believe in it.
Malik, you and Chris know each other and have had a relationship for a lot longer than a lot of these guys in here. Did you guys have a moment to just talk this week, and what did you guys tell each other?
I'm glad you touched on that because I did want to, speak on Coach Mack. But we haven't had a chance to really speak yet, and I hope one day we do. But this was probably our most difficult year, as me and him went. Just me, being caught up in just college and, still being, feeling like I'm stuck in the same place. It was difficult for me to, some days, bring that same energy and pop. And I believe me and him kind of had a disconnect, in that aspect. But I want you guys to know and, everybody to know that Coach Mack is a great coach. And I really, believed in him and, bought into what he had to say and, to do for the last, 3.5 years. And, he has a wonderful family. He's a wonderful guy. And, I don't want anything to undermine any of that and the things that he did here in his, career at Louisville. And the way that he went out, I believe it was, as a man. And he stood on, the mistakes that he made, and he understood that he couldn't make that connection with us. And, he talked to us about that, and, he touched on that. And I think that it said a lot about him and just who he was. But like I said, I think Coach Mack is a great coach. I think he can coach anywhere in the country and, be really successful at it. So I want you guys to truly know that it was just difficult for him, with this group this year. But he's a great coach. I'll always be on his side, and I know me and him didn't, always see eye to eye this year, but, I always have his back, and he'll always have a, friend in me.
Malik, those things you talk about, those things that he said to you guys, does that help you not feel like he gave up on you guys at this stage?
Yeah, it was for us. It was in the best interest of us in multiple people's eyes. So for him to own up to that, I think it says a lot to this group. It says a lot to me personally, but I think it also, reinstills a belief within ourselves that, this isn't over. And we got a lot of games left, half of the ACC to play, and, hopefully make a run.
All right, Malik, thank you very much.
Thank you.